Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It's Thursday, August 15th, middle of the month. So, seems like you guys are watching the views on how to run and start a business and when is a good time. But there's still a little bit of confusion. So, today I thought we'd talk about what does it take to be good at business. This should be interesting. All right, stay tuned. Alrighty, so welcome back. My name is Eric, and yes, today is Thursday. This is the weekend, Monday through Friday, available by podcast for your listening pleasure. A lot of times, people will try to sell you a roadmap of how to become successful. And the thing is each and every one of us has a different definition for being successful. See, some are chasing the money. So they deem successful as, you know, maybe a millionaire, billionaire, who knows. While the next person could say it was successful if it had a good run and good customers and paid the bills. What's so different about the two? It's how we define being successful. And that's one of the things that you have to do in order to create, start, and run a business is you have to define what exactly you're trying to accomplish. And I'll be totally honest with you. I'm not going to say that you can't accomplish anything you put your mind to. Because you might be able to. Who knows? But for you struggling or getting ready to become entrepreneurs, you have to have that vision of where it is you want to end up at a certain point at a certain time. And that way you can kind of, it's kind of like, early on in my videos, I talk about a roadmap because that's technically what it is, right? You're setting out waypoints along the way, but if you don't know what the end result is, or what you perceive it to be, you'll never get there because you'll never know if you got there or not and went past it. That's the biggest problem I see with so many people that fail in business is they don't have vision, they don't have passion, and they have no clue where they're going to end up. They're just flying by the seat of their pants, hoping for the best. Does that work? Yes, occasionally. But it's no different than the guy that plays the lottery every week and the guy that puts his lottery money that he would rather not be playing the lottery into a jar. Okay? At the end of the month, if you talk to the lottery person that is buying lottery tickets, he will tell you that he's made a couple $100. And if you talk to the same other guy that is taking what the first guy is putting out in lottery tickets, what he's spending per week, this guy is putting in a jar. He ends up with $500 in his jar at the end of the month. Now, the lottery guy is not lying when he saying that he won 300, 200, or $300, right? No, he's not lying technically. But he spent $500 to get that. Did you really make $300? You won it, but did you make it? And the answer is no. You lost $200 to $300. Well, there's that chance. Yeah, there's that chance in a gazillion that you're going to be the lucky one. Does it happen? Yep. Does it happen often? Nope. And that's the way I've always been, is kind of like, why play the lottery? It's a game of chance. When, if you're going to spend $2-3 a day buying lottery tickets, now they're 5 and 10 and 20, and just stuck that money in a jar. You'd be surprised how much money you'd have in that jar by the end of the month, the end of the year. Those vacations that you said you couldn't afford, well, now you can afford them. It's that those two examples are just like starting a business and having a plan in place, a vision, waypoints with his jar. Or the guy that's just out there throwing stuff at the wall, hoping that it sticks, playing the lottery, and thinking he's won 200 to 300 when he's lost 200 to 300. Both will say they're successful, but who is really successful? That's key. And I like Amos and Jason, your comments were spot on yesterday on when is it a good time. The best way to know how to start a business and how to run a business is to first look at how not to. All right? So what are a few things that not to? Because if somebody were to ask me today to define businesses that have grown in growth and gotten a lot larger and made money, how many could I come up with? I can come up with 4 off the top of my head. Okay, so out of those 4, how many did it? Example 1 and example 2. From what I'm looking from the outside, only one did it by example 1 of setting waypoints and the other thing. And the other 3 were example 2. Except for you have to decide. You have to define yourself. You have to decide, am I going to play above board? Am I going to be honest? Am I going to treat people the way I want to be treated and grow the business that way? Or are you going to do shady deals and swaps and favors and this and that and play in the game to get ahead on the backs of other people? Because those other 3 businesses that I know off the top of my head are doing just that. To me, the biggest deal breaker when it comes to running a business is dishonesty. But yet we have a lot of dishonest companies. And how do these dishonest companies keep getting ahead, making more money? It's because they're girls. They're doing back room deals. They're not afraid to cross the line. If it's the customer or them that's going to come out ahead, it's always going to be them. Is that how you want to run a business? I've known guys that would outwardly brag about how they're screwing their customers. And they're getting wealthy off from it. Is that how you want to define your business? Because I can tell you, this day and age, if you're a good guy or a good gal, and you're doing it from the heart, and you're doing it honestly, and you're being honest, people will gravitate towards you. Because it's refreshing to see someone like that in business. And I can tell you, when the shit hits the fan, and it will at some point in time in your business life, where you see a big downturn, the community will come out for the one guy, but not the other three. And why is that? Because the other three have made it very clear it's either you or them, and they're always going to go with them. If they start to do something nice, watch out. Because they don't ever do anything unless they're getting something in return. I can give you another example. I know a guy that years ago screwed over everybody. Okay? And he not only screwed over everybody, he screwed over his own family. Now, about a year ago, supposedly, he turned over a new leaf. He saw the light. And he decided to start a business again. People were skeptical, and it was good reason to be skeptical. You screwed over your own family. But he would get upset because he felt that nobody in the town was willing to give him a second chance. When I said, first of all, you need to earn it. There's a reason they don't trust you. You gave them a reason not to trust you. You let it be well known that it was either you or them, and it was never going to be you. So now you've turned over a new leaf, and you're a new person, and now they should 100% trust you? But that's just it. The community would not rally around him, even though he was bringing a service to the town. Yeah, it would have been handy. But most people go and do business with, because it's a customer driven society, okay? And what do I mean by that? I mean, a lot of your bigger businesses look at customer data, all right? And looking at customer data, they decide what it is the customer wants and how to go about providing that. And we went from a generation of, having second and third generation lawnmowers passed down to ones that don't even last a year to two. And why is that? It's because the next generation and the generation after that don't feel the closeness like we had with our stuff. They don't collect antiques. They don't collect anything, all right? Unless it's trading cards of some kind. It's a throwaway society. And corporate America has heard you. And that you get bored very easily with anything and move on to the next. And I'm seeing that in all walks of life. Whether it's a job, I see so many young people not stay at a job very long. Yes, I know. It used to be if you went to work for a company, a lot of times you retired with them, right? Because they took care of you. Now it's job hopping. The next new high, and that's a problem because they're always chasing the high. And then when the high starts to wane, they dump it and go for another high. No one taught them that if you keep good care of your stuff, it will last a long time. And over time, you will gain having a lot of toys or garden equipment or what have you because you took care of it. I know a family just down the road, and the kids are a little younger than I am. Their mom passed away, all right? Not one kid is interested in anything in that house. And the property was left to the kids, so it's kind of a 50-50 split of who wants to do what with the actual property. But they hired people, 4 of them, to come in and clean the house, to burn whatever could be burnt, to take whatever they could to Goodwill, and if any of them wanted anything out of it, they could have it. But the family was paying these 4 people to do that. And I know for a fact there were a lot of beautiful antiques in that house. A lot of old stuff. This generation doesn't have value on it. And I'm kind of rattling my head. At the very least, why don't you have an auctioneer come in? You're going to pay him and his cronies to get everything set up. But at the end of the day, everything is gone. It'll sell for something, and somebody will take them and clean it up for you. And you're not paying 4 people to just throw everything away. But they have no value on what stuff is worth. But the right word that I'm looking for is instant gratification. The next generations have been taught that they have high expectations of what it is they're going to try to do. And if that doesn't meet those expectations, then they move on to something else. And that's going to make it hard for future generations to start up, run, maintain, and own businesses. Because you're not getting a high all the time. You're not always chasing the sun. Some jobs and some months are going to be mundane, boring. But it's all part of the job, right? And the other thing that I see is that when you do try to start a business, okay, and you do it the right way of setting waypoints and being honest with people and growing your business, is that they're not enjoying the journey. They don't understand that the journey is the high. We've always had every generation. We've had those guys and gals that are good at starting a business, getting it up to a certain point, and then handing the reins over to a qualified individual to keep it going. Okay? Because they know that they're good at the high, chasing the high, getting it started up. They know the process. They know how to do it, right? And they may have multiple businesses that they've started up. And what I can tell you is a successful business person, that be man or woman, can usually start another business from scratch and do well with it because they have a model to go by. They've done it before. They know how to do it. That's why successful people remain successful, because they keep repeating the process in other areas. They understand that the journey is great, but they like that high life of chasing and getting 4 hours sleep every day, 3 to 4 hours. But what I can tell you, if you're one of them, is as you get older, you need more sleep. And those hours are going to have to be increased. If not, you're going to burn out. But that's where I'm going to leave you today, is if you're interested in starting a business, now is just as good a time as any. Because actually, if you can start it now in this economy, that it's going to grow. But I want you to find out, I want you to somehow define successful. Define where it is you want to end up. If you're going to do small engine repair, are you going to work out of a garage because you want to get to a shop eventually with a showroom that has products to sell, and then do service and warranty out back? Your vision may be just working out of a nice garage in your backyard and turning that over into a workshop and building that up for retirement, to have something to go to when you're retired, to keep yourself busy. Call it a hobby. Both define success and where they want to end up. Both are going to have to come up with the same techniques, right? But one's looking for retirement and the other one is looking for growth. To move from a garage to a shop in town. And don't be afraid. If for whatever reason you hit a roadblock, don't just give up. That's the other big thing, is people give up too soon, too early. And if you're going from home to the grocery store and there's a tree across the road, does that mean that you just go home because you can't get any groceries? Or can you, growing up in that area, okay, there's another road over here that goes this way and it's a little bit longer, but I can still get to town, get my groceries, and get home. So you got one type that give up once they hit the tree in the road, the roadblock. You're never going to reach your potential. The other person that realizes there's other roads that they can take, it's going to take them a few miles out of their way, but the end result is they still got there and got back. They become successful at what they were attempting to do. Right? Amos was saying, how bad news travels fast. It does. People, if you put the screws to somebody, it just seems like everybody knows it, all right? And if you're the honest one, it's slower to get around, right? But it will. It's kind of like anything you do in life. Some things will be easy, and you will not look at that as being an achievement because it's easy for you. And other things will be very difficult. But it's all in the approach. It's all on how you define yourself and define what you want to accomplish. And that doesn't mean, it just has to be pertaining to businesses, personal life as well. Define what it is and where it is you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. What do you hope to be doing at that point? And for heaven's sake, enjoy the journey. Because you get 20 years out and you look back and you say, where'd all that time go? How many fishing trips did you miss out on? How many graduations did you miss out on? How many family get-togethers did you miss out on? And you sent a message to everybody around you, even though it wasn't the message you were trying to send, is that your business was more important than they were. And I know what you're going to say. No, it's not, but it is, because you decided to not take the time to partake in other people's achievements. So you have to enjoy the journey as well. Stay grounded, be honest, and you will be successful. So on that note, yes, Jason, I know I said the weekend. This is the weekday show. And we'll catch you bright and early tomorrow morning. All right, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to put in the comments if you have any questions or you can add something to what I'm talking about. Please do. I read them all. And so do a lot of other people. Alrighty.